Stress is the leading cause of death. We know that. But it's not the stress that's actually killing us. And we'll discuss that in this video because this is the 24th episode of my book series, Breaking Down the Diary of a CEO. It's a very great book. And if you like the ideas in this book, I give to you in this chapter, please feel free to go ahead and grab a copy of this book. And for some reasons, if you can't grab a copy of it, listen to the Diary of a CEO podcast. It's by Stephen Bartlett. It brings on very important guests. So this episode is titled, You Must Make Pressure Your Privilege. Now, if you look around us, everybody is moving towards comfort. Everybody wants a more comfortable home. Everybody wants a more comfortable car. But if you zoom out, that comfort we are seeking is slowly killing us. Now you must say, why is that so? Is when we become very, very comfortable, we begin to have problems. So first of all, before I get into why we begin to have problems, let's look at stress itself, right? And something funny about stress is the fact that stress is an internal response, while pressure is an external response. And what that basically means is slightly digressive. When something happens internally, right? When something happens and your body, your internal state is to respond, it's called stress. But the thing that is coming after you that's external to you is the pressure. So for example, you feel pressure to deliver a certain task, right? Now, that is external for me because you're feeling the pressure from them, but internally it causes stress. So the problem with stress is not the fact that it's what we don't want. It's the fact that we see stress as a bad thing. Now, according to research, the people who see stress as a bad thing, they had about a 40 to 60% chance of dying earlier, right? Of dying from stress than people who do not see the stress that way. So what that means is it is not really the stress that is the problem, but it's the way you see the stress, it's the attitude you have towards stress. So let's zoom out. Look at people at the gym. Look at how much stress they are putting on their muscles, right? Now think about it. Why would somebody go through that pain? Why would somebody go through that stress? Because in reality, the only reason stress is involved is stress causes us in any area to grow, regardless of field. So when you feel stress at the gym, it grows your muscles. Now, when you feel stress at your work, it forces you to grow. Now, right, because of the attitude people have towards stress, sometimes they don't even grow mentally. If you think about it, when you begin to read uncomfortable books, that's one level to increase your analytical thinking and make you a better person at comprehending. Because why? You have been able to read much more difficult things. And if you zoom out, there is actually nothing that is worth bragging. Keyword there is bragging. That doesn't have some form of stress in it. So as human beings, we know deeply that for you to grow to a next level, whether as in fitness, in business, you are going to have to go through quite a number of stress, quite an amount of stressful activities. So it's not like it's the stress that itself, it is the way you view it. You see this thing in every single area of life. Now, I must be certain that apart from the way you see stress, one other thing that's also important, is do you see a reward at the end of the stress? Right? That is also that's also very important when it comes to bringing in stress into your life, because there are two kinds of stress, right? One stress that we can have is what I call aspirational stress. Aspirational stress is something that is stressful, quite all right, but you see a purpose towards it. You see a goal at the other end, right? Whether it's in fitness where you're blasting your muscles, because deep down, subconsciously, you know very, very well that in the next, let me think about it, the next 6 months, you're going to have that summer body. You know that if you build that business, if you go through that stress, that grind, and build that business, then you can begin to enjoy the fruits of your labor. While there is low-level stress is the real killer, right? Now, in his book, he defines low-level stress as somebody working a low-paying job. That's not, you might see people like that, right? But that's not the point. You can work a low-paying job, right, and still have it as aspirational. because there are people, right, who actually feel like they're not bothered trying to step up. Their menial job is what they want. They just want to like coast through life, do it, and they are very comfortable with that. And to be very frank, those people are very, very interesting to me because they are not ambitious. They're not trying to seek comfort. All they just want is they just want to be able to live and wake up tomorrow and just do something. I literally have seen cashiers, like store cashiers, be passionate about their work because why? It affords them something that makes people come back over and over again. It makes them interact with people more. So I've seen people like that. So but low level stress, like I said, is a stress that so low level stress is a stress that you do not actually know the end game. You're just doing it for either survival or you're just doing it for the sake of doing it. Right? This is where you literally see people who are rich who are going through this low level stress. Because why? They actually and so okay, let me put it this way, maybe a different angle to it. Now you can either make your stress intentional or life forces its stress on you. Aspirational stress is a stress that you were very, very intentional about, right? Or you will not be intentional, but you can see the end game of it. While the low level stress is stress that life throws at you and you don't want it, but you know that you kind of have to go through it. So my advice is if you already understand what you're going to achieve through that stress, just go through it and make it much more intentional. That is, take it from being a passively stressful activity to an activity that is actively stressful. And this is where a lot of people forget their life purpose, right? They forget their life purpose because of pressure, right? When they feel pressured, when they're in the wrong activities, this is where somebody has his purpose to create something. Maybe either it's creating content. He gets lost in the daily activities of or random pressures that he forgets what he's trying to achieve. And that is the sad reality of most people. They have goals, they have dreams, they have ambition. But for some strange reason, they keep pushing it further. Sometimes it may not be because they are afraid to start. Sometimes it's simply because you might just be afraid, or maybe you're just going through life taking on pressures that are not even your business. So now, to make pressure your best friend, you have 4 steps. The first step here is to see it. And when he means see it is become aware of the stress. Right. Like I said, think about it. Aspirational stress is intentional. Low level stress, it is unintentional. It did not choose it. So what you have to do here is become aware of it. Like, what is stressing me out? What is this pressure that is on me? And what is this stress that I'm feeling? That's your first step, because without becoming aware of anything, this is why I'm always speculating on the fact that you should learn to take a pause in every area of your life. Pause. Why am I lifting these heavy weights? Pause. Why am I at the gym? Why am I trying to build this body? Pause. Why am I trying to get rich? Right? Pause. Always have that pause. Always see it. Become aware of it. Now, your second step is to share it. So when we share it, is talk to other people, right? Because to be very, very frank, another one great ability you have will be to get yourself out of your own head. Talk to people, and it has been proven that when you share the kind of stress that you're going through, it makes it feel less than stress, right? At the same time, there's a very serious danger here because you might be sharing your stress with people, and at the same time, what's going to happen is you are doing what is called victim bonding. Victim bonding is you're sharing your problems with other people, not because those guys have solutions for you, but because you see because two of you have shared problems. But because of you have shared problems, you can begin to think like them. Okay, because we are both going through this menial job that we both hate, so let's bond over it. I literally have seen should I call them waste disposal? These truckers, I literally have seen them enjoy the job, enjoy the process, and it completely blew my mind and made me realize that you can basically enjoy any process, but be careful. First of all, zoom out, see it very well. Second step is to share it, because when you share it, it shows there's a research to show that it becomes lighter that way. The third step is to frame it. So the framing here is to see a purpose in it. That is why I said by the time you zoom out, it's easier for you to frame it and say, okay, fine. I think I'm going through this stress right now because of this. Right? And this is very, very powerful. This is where a lot of people miss it, because literally you see people who have seen their problems, but for some weird reasons, they cannot take that move. Why? Because they've not been able to frame that stress. Okay, so now I'm going through this because of this, right? I'm going through this because I'm going to have a better body, and that better body will help me build confidence. And this is where you can basically turn a stress from low level to aspirational. Where you can say, you know what, I'm working a menial job right now, so I can fund a side hustle. The moment the side hustle begins to kick in, I dump this menial job and go for the side hustle. Like I said, it's easier to do that way when you take a pause and you zoom in and you zoom out, and you're able to say, you know what, I'm framing it. This is why I am going through it. Now, your fourth step is to use it. Use that stress. The goal of stress, right, is to cause you to stretch mentally and physically. So now, if you've gotten to this stage of any stressful situation, always know that every stressful activity is to work in your favor. Now, a big caution here is there's a level of stress in anything that you can actually maintain. If you go to the gym almost every day and you're pushing out your muscles, you're blasting your muscles almost every day, your body is going to have a kickback. So at some point, stress will cause anything to stretch, even any material. If stressed enough, cause it to stretch. At some point, stress can flip its head to a point where it becomes literally killing. And I'm saying this because, and this comes home to me because I literally have seen somebody close to me pass out just because of stress. Strictly because of stress. Like, it was so crazy that we tried to talk this person out of it, but it's almost like the mental and physical stress was just too much. I think about 6 weeks of that stress. So please, even you see athletes who pass on due to stress on the body, right? When it's a kind of a complicated topic. A lot of athletes that pass on due to stress, and it's in the news everywhere. So I think I wrote this quote down, and this quote says, "We are living in a comfort crisis. We are slowly suffocating ourselves to death with comfort by avoiding the hard things that are good for our health. Aging is an aggressive pursuit of comfort. We are supposed to exert physical strain on our bodies. We are not meant to be sedentary." Like we said, so at the end he says, hard is the price you pay today for an easy tomorrow. What did I say? When you know the aim of the stress, when the stress is aspirational, you know that at the end there's a level of reward you will get. And I think I will later discuss about this whole idea of pain versus pleasure, why you should always aim for pain, right? Not because of you are a maniac, but because for almost any form of pain that is intentional, there's a reward for it, right? There's a reward for it. Even down to the fact that you are literally doing dopamine correction where you are enjoying boring tasks. There is a reward for literally enjoying boring tasks. And guess what? If you flip the coin where you're just pursuing pleasure, there are consequences for pursuing pleasure for its sake. So now, on the different video, I'm going to be telling you how you can balance it for a life that is much more optimal. Then also, comfort and easy are short-term friends, but long-term enemies. If you're looking for growth, choose the challenge. If you're making for growth, you have to make the pressure your friend. You're going to have to make pressure your privilege. That's the entire point of this chapter. So if you stay this long, it means that you are somebody who is very, very intentional about making their life better. Please listen to this guy's podcast, The Diary of a CEO. Now, and like I said, you're somebody who takes himself very serious. There's a high chance that you know other people who will take their life very, very serious. And you should basically share this episode with them. Is that selfless act of sharing this video, one, make me realize that there are more people out there who actually want something like this and is serving them, and as I can say thank you, and the other person will tell you thank you again. So thank you very much for staying this long. You are somebody who takes yourself serious, and I must say you are a king already. You are a king in the process. You started a journey that is forcing you to put pressure, because watching this video is not so pleasurable, but you have an idea of the reward you got from it. So thank you very much. Talk to you soon, and share this video.